أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله هيا على الصلاة هيا على الصلاة هيا على الفلاح هيا على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له واشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له واشهد ان سيدنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله اما بعد فاعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا ايها الذين امنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن الا وانتم مسلمون وقال تعالى لئن شكرتم لازيدنكم وقال تعالى ولو أن للذين ظلموا ما في الأرض جميعا ومثله معه لافتدوا به من سوء العذاب يوم القيامة وبدا لهم من الله ما لم يكونوا يحتسبون. صدق الله العظيم. Dear brothers, respected sisters, last week at this time when we were gathered, we were in the month of Ramadan. And this week, alhamdulillah, the month of Ramadan has finished, and we have had Eid and this day of celebration. But it's also natural that when something finishes, we reflect over it. For example, if we have a party at our house, many of us may have had parties at our homes for Eid. You know that after the party ends, then we reflect over, say, did people come? Was there enough food? Did people enjoy the food? Did people have a good time? It's natural for us to reflect back on it. And I want to mention 3 points today. One is around being grateful for what we accomplished during Ramadan. The second, around the importance of consistency coming out of Ramadan. And third, on securing the rewards that you've earned in Ramadan. A person, when they reflect back on what they have passed or what they've accomplished, they reflect so that they can not only know what they can do better or such, but also so that they can be grateful for what good did come out. A person, when they think back to what I've accomplished, when that party ends, when that whatever ends, you say, this went well, that went well, this went well, alhamdulillah for those things. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that if you thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will increase you further in whatever good you have, in whatever good you've shown gratitude for. Alhamdulillah, when we think of the month of Ramadan that has passed, we should reflect over what we have accomplished with the tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And primarily around two things, around ibadah and taqwa. If you look at the ibadah of this month, alhamdulillah, we engaged in 30 days of fast for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And its rewards, you've heard about it in the month of Ramadan. We've engaged and strengthened our relationship with the Quran. Many of us in the month of Ramadan making an extra effort to read more Quran in our own times. And in addition, we've heard and listened to the recitation of the entire Quran in the prayer of Tarawih. Alhamdulillah, Allah has given us the tawfiq in this month that we were getting up in the time of tahajjud. That perhaps many of us may not wake up on a regular basis throughout the rest of the year, but in this month, that time that we woke up for the time of suhoor, that is the prime time for tahajjud. And alhamdulillah, Allah gives us the tawfiq to wake up in that time, and we know that we have the capability to wake up for tahajjud. And we've also engaged in a lot of sunnahs, including the important sunnah of coming to the masjid for prayer. In the month of Ramadan, many of us came, if not for other prayers, at least for Isha prayer, so that we can join Isha prayer and join the Tarawih thereafter. That coming to the masjid for the congregational prayer is a great sunnah that Allah has given the tawfiq to do in this month of Ramadan. Many of us, inshallah, we're doing it outside of Ramadan as well, but especially this month, we see that definitely a lot more people were coming to the masjid, mashallah. And it's also a month, as we know and as you've heard in Ramadan, that the purpose of the fast was to increase us in our taqwa. And taqwa is being mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah has said that it's to fear Allah. When we say to fear Allah, what that means is to fear disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That we fear doing something that be against the commands and against the rulings and against what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. And we see in this month, taqwa definitely does increase. A person throughout the day is mindful that they're in a state of fasting for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whereas their normal habits may be to chew gum, to get water, to drink coffee, to eat, to snack. But the entire day a person is cognizant of the fact that they're in the fast for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Their connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is present in their minds throughout the entire day. And they're concerned about doing anything that would be against the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, being mindful if they're rinsing their mouth, that they're careful so that water doesn't go down the throat and such. Mindful of doing anything that would be against, doing something that would break the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A lot of people in this month make an intention to give up on certain things. Right? People give up TV, movies, music, whatever people think that this giving up on this will get me closer to Allah, so that people give that up during this month. And they engage in things or doing more of those things that they feel will bring them closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whether it's coming to the masjid, Quran recitation, whatever it may be. And we need to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that ibadah that we engage in, for that taqwa that we have, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will increase us then in our ibadat and in our taqwa. Inshallah. From there though, we also have to then think about the next point, which is that alhamdulillah we were doing all of that in the month of Ramadan. But we knew the month of Ramadan will end, and the month of Ramadan has ended. And now it is our responsibility to see how do we remain consistent on what we were doing. Aisha narrates, and it's known about the Prophet that he would never start an act except that he would be consistent with it. The Prophet was always consistent in whatever he did. You may have noticed in Ramadan, a lot of you, inshallah, had come for the khatam of the Quran and Tarawih, and you must have noticed that in most places, the khatam doesn't occur such that the 20th rak'ah ends with Surah Al-Nas. In most places, what happens is you get to Surah Al-Nas, you You get to the end of the Quran, and then you restart from Alif Lam Mim again, from Surah Baqarah, from the beginning. Abu Hurairah narrates that the Prophet, it comes in a hadith that a person stood up toward the Prophet and he asked him, Ya Rasulullah, O Messenger of Allah, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, أَيُّ الْعَمَلِ أَفْضَلُ أَوْ قَالَ أَيُّ الْعَمَلِ أَحَبُّ إِلَى اللَّهِ. The person asks, what action is the best action, or what is the most beloved action to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So the Prophet responded, and he said, Al-Hal al-Muntahim, الَّذِي يَفْسَحُ الْقُرْآنُ وَيَفْتِمُهُ صاحب القرآن يضرب من أوله إلى آخره ومن آخره إلى أوله كلما حل كرته. The Prophet described that person who is continuous or he is regular in the recitation of the Quran such that they start from the beginning of the Quran and they reach to the end of the Quran. And when they reach to the end of the Quran, then they go back to the beginning of the Quran and they do it again. That they don't just start and finish and that's it. That they have a loop. They're consistent in their reading, and when they finish, they restart right away. And we saw the same thing in Tarawih. The moment we finish the khatam of the Quran, we restart. Because we don't just end a relationship with the Quran and put it on pause until some future time again, until the following year or until some later date. Right? That relationship is consistent. The sooner we finish, the sooner we restart. And that's reflective of all of our actions, that they shouldn't stop as Ramadan stops, that we should be consistent in our actions. So whether they're in our ibadat, that fast that we're doing, yes, we're not going to fast on a daily basis, but there's still sunnah fasts, the fast of Mondays and Thursdays, or the fast of the 13th, 14th, and 15th of the lunar calendar. There's different sunnah fasts throughout the month, throughout the year, that we should be mindful about. The Quran, that yes, there's no longer the recitation of the entire Quran in Salah or such, but reading Quran, listening to the Quran, that relationship needs to continue post Ramadan as well. Alhamdulillah, we were getting up at the time of Tahajjud on a daily basis to eat our sukoon. We know we are able to make up for Tahajjud. Now that Ramadan has ended, and even if a person is not fasting, a person should make it a habit, or at least on some regular basis, to wake up at that time, at Tahajjud time, pray 2 rakat, or even if you're not praying 2 rakat, just wake up, make dua. That's a Mubarak type of dua. Make dua and go back to sleep, if nothing else. And the sunnahs that we're engaged in, especially the sunnah of coming to the masjid for congregational prayer, that's something that we should continue. Even though the month of Ramadan is ended, even though there's no longer any Tarawih. But for the farl prayer, we should still try to come. And for taqwa, whatever we thought we were giving up for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever we're doing, that should continue as well. We should make an effort, regardless of whatever shortcomings those efforts may have. Aisha narrates the Prophet said that صدقوا وقاربوا واعلموا أن لن يدخل أحدكم عمله الجنة وإن أحب الأعمال الله أنه هو البخاري. The Prophet mentioned that take aim and try to come close. Right? Make an effort, make a goal, aim for it, and yes, there will be shortcomings. We're going to make an intention that we're going to recite Quran on a daily basis. Some days we'll forget, some days we'll get busy, some days it won't happen. But you have to make an effort. You have to make a goal, you have to make an effort. Right? And I like to give the example of a dart. Right? If you ever played darts, you know that's on the wall, you take an aim at that bullseye, at the red dot in the middle, and you throw the dart. And some people will hit it right on target. Some people will get it somewhere else on the board. Some people are going to be 6 inches off, it will hit the wall and it will fall down on the ground. But one thing's for sure though, that dart is closer to its goal once you've taken aim and thrown it than it was when it was still in your hand before you threw it. You make an intention and you take an aim and you make an effort, you will be closer to the ideal than if you don't do that. So we have to take an aim and make an effort. The Prophet mentioned that the most beloved actions for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are those that are consistent even if they're small. Make an intention to do something small and do it consistently, inshallah, will be beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Third point that I want to mention is all that ibadah and the taqwa and everything that we've done in Ramadan and all that reward that we have undoubtedly earned in this month. We have to now ensure that we secure that reward and it will be in our scales of the Day of Judgment. Allah mentions in the Quran regarding the Day of Judgment that for some people it will be that Allah will expose them to something that they were not expecting on that day. And the Christ says that you should really be concerned about this verse. Imam Nawawi rahimahullah in his tafsir, he mentions about this, that إِنَّ مِنَ الَّذِينَ يَبْدُونَ مِنَ اللَّهِ مَا لَمْ يَكُونُوا يَحْتَسِبُونَ قَوْمٌ عَمِلُوا أَعْمَالًا صَالِحَةً وَلَكِنْ كَانَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ مَظَالِمُ فَظَنُّوا أَنَّ أَعْمَالَهُمُ الصَّالِحَةَ تُنْجِيهِمْ فَجَاءَ الْإِنسَانُ بَلَاءً مِنَ اللَّهِ مَا لَمْ يَكُونُوا يَحْتَسِبُونَ. That these people will be exposed to something that they weren't expecting are those people that had actually a lot of good deeds. They had a lot of good deeds. But then they also had oppressed people, that they had also wronged people. And then that will be the day of accountability, and that will be a day of hisab, and then they will be exposed to something that they were not expecting. And in the different hadith also mentioned in Sahih Muslim, that he asked the Sahaba, Adadruna al-Muflis, do you know who is that person who is bankrupt? And the Sahaba mentioned that al-Muflis fina man la dirham lahu wa la mata', that the bankrupt person is that person who has no money, he's got no belonging. The Prophet said no. He said, إن المفلس من أمتي يأتي يوم القيامة بصلاة وصيام وزكاة ويأتي قد شتم هذا وقذف هذا وأكل مال هذا وسفك دم هذا وضرب هذا فيعطى هذا من حسناته وهذا من حسناته فإن فنيت حسناته قبل أن يقضى ما عليه أخذ من خطاياه فطرحت عليه ثم طرح في النار. That no, also mentioned the bankrupt person is that who will come on the day of judgment and he'll have rewards from his prayer, from his fasting, from his tilawah, from all these different actions that he's done. But then he's also backbit about this person. He mocked that person. He spread rumors about that person. He did all these things that are contrary to the violation. They were violations of the rights of people. So then that day, his deeds will be taken and will be given to that person as compensation for the wrong that he did. And slowly, all the good deeds will be given away until he has the good deeds. So then the bad deeds of the other people will be given to him now as compensation. And then that person will have nothing left and he'll be thrown into the hellfire. Allah will protect us. This is what we want to be careful and ask Allah to save us from. All these good deeds that we've earned, we want them to be in our skills in the Day of Judgment. We don't want them to be given away because we have wronged people by making fun of them, backbiting them, joking about them and such. We have to be mindful of not only our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have to be mindful of a relationship with people as well, so that all these good deeds, inshallah, will be of our benefit in the Day of Judgment. And we ask Allah for tawfiq. Wastaghfirullah li wa lakum wa lisa'il muslimin fastaghfiruhu innahu huwal ghafurur rahim. الحمد لله الذي لا والصلاة والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى خصوصا على سيدنا رسول الله خاتم الانبياء وعلى اله وصحبه الذين اجتباه اما بعد فاعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ان الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا ايها الذين امنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى سيدنا محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد اللهم اعز الاسلام والمسلمين واذل الشرك والمشركين ودمر اعداءك اعداء الدين اللهم انصر المسلمين والمستضعفين في كل مكان اللهم اشفنا واشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين اللهم اغفر لحينا وميتنا وشاهدنا وغائبنا وصغيرنا وكبيرنا وذكر وانثنى اللهم احيينا فاحيي على الاسلام وتوفيتنا فتوفه على الايمان اللهم انا نسالك العفو والعافيه والمعافاه الدائمه في الدين والدنيا والاخره عباد الله رحمكم الله ان الله يامر بالعدل والاحسان وايتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون فاذكروا الله يذكركم ودعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله اكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون